What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we'll be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to USD. As you also saw in the title, I will be discussing where Litecoin's bottom is, as well as when the next rally is. And then finally, I will also be discussing my buying and selling opportunity that I had, and then as well, or when I buy and when I sell. And then lastly, I will be discussing how analysts have a bullish view on crypto as Bitcoin and, Litecoin, but mainly Bitcoin rallied past $4,000. I will be discussing that as well. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content and want to see more. Furthermore, let's jump into today's episode. So we're on the coin market cap here, and I just want to refresh this and then jump into the episode, or looking at the coin market cap. Thank you all for who wanted to help support the channel and purchased cryptocurrency using the ABRA app. Basically, if you deposit $5, they will reward you with $25. It also helps boost the channel too. Referral link is it's the first link in the description, so do check that out. I do appreciate all you guys for doing that. Moving on though, we're on the coin market cap. Market cap is 136, 24-hour volume is 16.3, Bitcoin dominance 51.7. So what I can conclude from that is Bitcoin dominance is increasing. So that means altcoins are falling more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is holding more stable. Doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't mean it's positive. It can still mean that it's down, just not down as much. 24-hour volume is 16.3, about even with where I saw it yesterday when we viewed it, and the market cap is about even, so we're really seeing a very slight pullback at best. And as I scroll down, you can see majority of the market reflects that. So key things to point out: Bitcoin is above $4,000. It took a very long time. We didn't see Bitcoin above 4,000 since like Christmas Eve. So we did see that now, finally back above 4,000. That's nice to see. We'll see if it will be able to retain that. Ethereum at 152. Down 3%. We then see Litecoin, unfortunately, back in the number 7 spot. It had a little bit of candlelight when it was when it actually broke past Stellar and held the number 6 spot for quite a little bit. But Stellar is actually taking off in a market that's fairly down for today. It's at 12 cents. Litecoin is at 38.13. We saw a peak off at, I don't think it hit 40, but it was kind of hitting that resistance at the $40 level. So it was probably 39.50, 39.80, something around then. Otherwise, majority of the market is taking a pullback. So if you didn't take profits yesterday, I'd highly recommend the next time we discuss it, you take profits. In a market that's evergreen, double digit up, Litecoin up 15%, 10%, very good day to be taking profits. That's what I did, and I'll show you guys that in a later in this episode, so definitely stay through to the end. So majority of the market is down though, but there are these random coins that are up 40%, ABRA coin. If you guys are familiar with that, let me know what you think about it. Maybe I'll review it. Furthermore, jumping into the article, I do want to discuss, it said Analysts bullish on crypto as Bitcoin rallies past 4,000. We're still above 4,000. We didn't cap off at 4,000, went a little bit higher, but we're pulling back down now. We'll see if in the TA if we can hold that level. But it basically says on Sunday, the crypto market saw its first notable bout of price action in 2019. Great way to start off the year, which comes after a multi-day lull following Xmas, Christmas. Per previous reports of News BTC, that's the article I'm reading off of. The Bitcoin price popped over $4,000 for the first time since Christmas Eve, as buying pressure quickly pushed the asset higher in a seeming flash flood. Basically, since the industry event, which quickly became the talk of the town on Twitter, an auspicious $4,000 level held strong, giving analysts and personalities ample time to comment on this unexpected micro rally. Now, we were tracking that, and we did say that, we were kind of anticipating some sort of rally, so it's no surprise to me to see that move happen. We may potentially see lower lows within cryptocurrency. Definitely possible, but, it's giving analysts more overview, like, wow, Bitcoin can still move up. So it said, since Bitcoin fell after Christmas Eve's Santa Claus rally, leading other crypto assets down with it, this market has struggled to, the most significant gains. Some have blamed the non-action on the holiday season, while others chalked up the week along respite despite to the unpredictability of this industry. So when Sunday's surge finally came to fruition, a number of this industry's leading participants were caught aback, but in somewhat positive light. And then we have a lot of analysts. We had Shangpeng CZ Zhao, the industry's golden child behind Binance, noted that his wish finally came true as volatility actually pushed cryptocurrency higher. Zhao's innocuous comment comes after market volatility pushed down Bitcoin by upwards of 40% in the past 2 months. The Binance chief didn't give any solid predictions as to where cryptocurrency Bitcoin will be in 2019, but considering the set of comments CZ conveyed to Bloomberg, it is likely to be optimistic for this nascent sector. And he did tweet that, the person who's the CEO of Binance. So that's also pretty cool. There are a bunch of other tweets, by this guy and by other people who've talked about, where they could see, people of power, I guess, or of higher authority. The guy who owns Binance, the exchange, he's got a pretty deep pocket, if you know what I mean. But to discuss more so the title, the technical analysis on the Bitcoin bottom and when the next rally is, I do want to look at, and the Litecoin bottom at Litecoin right now. And basically, as you guys know, I have been posting this ABRA app, this ABRA wallet, and I have been receiving, a bunch of you guys who deposit in it too. So I've been using those funds as well as, my own fair share of funds that are within cryptocurrency, within Litecoin specifically. And I basically sold off here, and I want to discuss why it is that I sold off and why. That doesn't mean I'm out of the market, doesn't mean I'm hitting it and running. I am going to be buying back in later, but we just have to find that right moment. So I do want to discuss what I'm seeing, what I'm viewing in the market, why I sold off my position. I actually sold it off at literally it didn't hit 40, I don't think. I literally sold it at 39.50, somewhere around that, somewhere in this wick on the day candle. But basically, we saw this ascending triangle happen, and we saw the run-up happen. I actually was purchasing back, or I was receiving the ABRA donations as well as my money back at around, I believe, the 27th. So right here is when I started buying. After we hit resistance and we fell to the uptrend, I started purchasing right around here, December 27th, and I sold off right here. And there's good reason as to why I'm doing that. So there were a few key factors that I discussed as to why the coin is most definitely going to pull back. I said it in yesterday's video when we were at a high and people were like, oh, should I buy in now? No. You shouldn't, because you're only going to see red after that. So that's pretty much what we're seeing. Today's candle, we're seeing that resistance pull back down. And I want to start us off on the 4-hour, and then we'll move on into the daily. So as you guys can see clearly, I do want to see if there's any sort of resistance where the 4-hour line is currently. It seems to cut through right here, but there doesn't seem to be much of a resistance at that moment. The main reason why it's pulling back down from there, it's pretty obvious, actually, mainly because we were overbought. So on the shorter term of things, we were overbought. We needed to pull back down. So, we had a cap. There is some resistance at that $40 level. We can draw that in here to make it more known. But at $40, $39.30, there is a resistance. There is pressure pushing this coin down. We surged up. We exploded through this resistance from a point of, let's see, 60 on the relative strength indicator, and we became 80, a little over 80 on the RSI. So that was an indicator to me that we needed to cap off. We needed to pull back down. That is why I sold up here, took profits, and I'm probably going to buy back in when we fall lower. Yes, we are currently out of being overbought. We're back down at around 67. I do think that it is fairly high. I'm going to really have to see what this coin's going to do. If it enters back into being overbought on the 4-hour, I'm not going to buy back in because it's going to pull back down lower. My best gamble, not even gamble, but my TA, the way I see it is we're most likely going to fall lower. It's unfortunate to say that, but there's definitely some areas that we could head to. It is possible we could head to this point. So $35, $36. Yeah, around 36 could be its resistance or its support that it pulls back down to. If it can't hold, around 35, 36 or 35, you can see where the top is right here, 35. 40, and then the top of 36. it will most definitely pull back down to where the breakout started at 33.27, and then we'll see where that ends up pushing the 4-hour price to, or the 4-hour RSI, and then I'll most likely buy back in, and I'll let you guys know when I personally buy back in. But I did sell off at the top there. I did want to let you guys know that. Moving though on to the daily, as you guys can see, where we're having that resistance. So there was another reason why I decided to sold. On the daily for Litecoin, we were nearing overbought. That is another big indicator. When we're nearing overbought, it's most definitely going to retrace. That was one. The second reason that I had suspicion, you can also see where these wicks came back. It does kind of draw some sort of support line, resistance line here too. The other issue was that the high-low MMA on the Litecoin's daily was coming into play too. So you can see it had quite a bit of downwards pressure from here. We almost touched the green band, but due to the fact that we touched it almost becoming overbought, there was no shot in my mind that we were going to be able to break up into that anytime soon. So we may see some consolidation downwards. You know, we've hit it in the past and we've fallen, so it may, you know, fall like this. We could potentially see some sort of movement like this, and then swoop up and break higher to another level. It is definitely a possibility, similar to what it's done in the past. You could do the same thing, retest it, and then break through. That's where I would be leaning towards. So my next buyback would be probably closer to $33 if we see that on Litecoin. So hopefully that gives you guys that information. You know, I would say for right now, the bottom would be around $33, and we could see a rally if we break 39, but I do think we're becoming a bit overextended for my doing to want to buy back in. I like to say, don't buy in, you know, on a guess. Be for sure 100% firm on your decision to buy back in. That's when you invest, because there are, as I've learned, there are those places, there are those times in crypto where it is almost guaranteed that you're going to make some sort of profit if you buy back in at that level. You know, instead of gambling and risking it, you'll just will know the perfect opportunity to buy back in. Don't risk it, don't gamble on it. You know, be almost confident in your buy-in, and you'll almost definitely make some sort of profit. As you guys can see, Bitcoin's daily, there is some sort of uptrend forming right now. Not really sure as to where it's going to go. It is on the daily, so it's a little bit more strong. But, you know, there does seem to also be a cap on Bitcoin's daily as well. You can see at around 4,061, at around 4,000, there is some sort of resistance. Nice to see that we're above here, but you can see right over here, this is previous resistance prior. We are on an uptrend, so if we do pop through there, that would definitely indicate that we have potential to move higher. You can see right here, just drew that in. I want to check out the 4-hour to indicate whether or not we're at the low of the RSI on the 4-hour or at the peak, you know, the overbought line. You know, if we're at the overbought, I'm most definitely going to buy back in somewhere when we touch this line, and then we could anticipate some sort of run up, some sort of breakthrough. But let's check that out right now. All right, so this is why I wouldn't buy in for Bitcoin right now to swing. As you guys can see, we do have this uptrend. It's holding fairly well. You can see, once again, we are touching this resistance. There is a huge resistance at this, you know, level 4,071. Similar to Litecoin, you know, we have this uptrend too that formed. We're now seeing that uptrend within Bitcoin. Here's that uptrend, except on the 4-hour, so closer in. You can see clear resistance up at the top here at 4,060. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. That may be a potential to buy in. We're overbought right now, actually, on Bitcoin's 4-hour. So a pullback is needed. You know, we need to pull back down. I would buy back in if we break, or if we bounce off 3,900, you know, this uptrend, and start to move up. If we can move up to around, you know, $4,000, 3,980, that's probably when I'll buy in-ish, 3,980. If we can bounce off here and continue upwards, then I might make the jump, make the leap, and buy in. Or if we actually just break the $4,060 line, if we bounce off here, so I'll draw it out for you guys. If we bounce here and then head up like that, and we can break through it a little bit, then I'll buy in, because it's most likely going to be a pop like that. But the reason I wouldn't just buy in on here and gamble is because it's possible it could go like that. I mean, we don't want to buy in on that and then just ride the wave down. So we'd be looking for something like this, where we touch it, hit here, and then if we can break, then we buy in, shoots up, and we sell. So if it falls, you know, to 39.22, if it falls to this line right here, we're most likely going to see the RSI tank, you know, fall to maybe 40, and then we'll buy back in and ride it up. There's more, room on the shorter term for us to make a profit. You can see clearly this uptrend forming on Bitcoin's daily right now. So we're going to play it out. We're going to discuss when to buy back in. I'll obviously let you guys know when I do buy back in, as recent as I do. Maybe I'll even post it on, the community, so you guys can see on the community tab, and it'll just pop up on when I buy and when I sell. But you can see clear uptrend forming. We're going to see whether or not we can break through here. I'm actually going to shorten this because you can see the uptrend that's happening right now. So I do anticipate some sort of fall. I do think we're going to come back down ever so slightly. That's going to lower this a little bit, maybe get us back at like 48 on the RSI, maybe 45, 47 on the RSI, and that'll give us enough potential to potentially move up and break outwards and at least test. I don't think we're going to break through the high-low MMA, but we could at least shoot up from the $4,000 level to maybe $4,650, $4,700, and we'll see some sort of move like this. I'll draw it out again. So we could see, pull back like that, and we'll buy it in when it's right here. And then we'll ride this wave up to here, and we'll sell out right at the top there where that high-low MMA comes in. Just so this episode doesn't get crazy long, Ethereum, I don't think is a good buying opportunity right now. I think it was a huge move and a huge opportunity to invest at $80. That is when I purchased, and this is a selling point. This is when I sold off a couple of days ago, actually. Sold it off here. I do think we need to come back down due to the fact that this high-low MMA is going to be a massive resistance on Ethereum, as well as this, support, this resistance line right here cutting through at around 160. That is also a massive resistance, so we're most definitely going to tumble a little bit. We're kind of nearing overextended on Ethereum's daily RSI, and on the 4-hour, the 4-hour doesn't look too bad, actually. You can see it is using this high-low MMA as some sort of support, but there is crazy resistance at 160, huge resistance at 160, so it's actually possible that it could pop up through that now that I look at it. But definitely, it's too risky for me right now to want to invest. I'm conservative in that aspect. We've had a massive run already, and being that was the 4-hour, this is the daily. The daily, yes, we're riding on that high-low MMA, but this is a massive daily high-low MMA, and this trumps all the the charts prior to that. So this is a lot of resistance right now, and I'm not really feeling confident enough to have two reasons to push this coin down. So that's why I'm not going to invest in it. XRP, to sum this up as quickly as I can, we're not really seeing any movement at all. Yes, we are flatlined out. This is kind of a 50-50 investment. We could shoot upwards, or we could tumble and fall back down to 29 cents, or we could break upwards and reach 42 cents, 43 cents. It's very possible, but otherwise it's too risky. Something is definitely bound to happen within XRP. It's just a matter of how long we're going to wait. But consolidation like this is not sustainable within XRP, so we're going to see some sort of break fairly soon. Otherwise, that's going to sum up the episode for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.